I'm Tanya Breyer, and I've come to Geneva to speak to Professor Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. It began life as the European Management Symposium back in 1971. The idea then as now was a simple one: gather different people together to discuss current global issues and brainstorm solutions to the challenges we all face. By the end of the decade, it had truly gone global. It helped bridge the gap between the Arab world and the West, and it also turned east as one of the first to fully engage and partner with China. By the time it changed its name to the World Economic Forum in 1987, history was being made. Greece and Turkey signed a no-war agreement, East and West German politicians came together, and Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk had their very first face-to-face meeting here. And through it all, Klaus Schwab has been credited with being the driving force behind so-called Davos diplomacy. Professor Schwab, it's wonderful to see you here in Geneva.
It's a great pleasure to have you here at our headquarters.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, it's the headquarters of the World Economic Forum, which is celebrating 50 years as its founder. What does that mean to you personally?
It doesn't mean celebrating 50 years of Davos or of our existence. For me, it means to celebrate 50 years of the stakeholder concept, of stakeholder capitalism, because I wrote a book in 1970 and conceptualized, probably for the first time, what we call today stakeholder capitalism. And I wanted to create a place where stakeholders could meet. And that was the original idea of Davos. So I'm very pleased and happy that we are not only celebrating 50 years, but we are celebrating now finally that stakeholder capitalism has become or is becoming mainstream.
For 2020, what other important conversations do you think need to be had?
We are living in a world which becomes more and more disintegrated. So we have a multipolar system now with two centers, US, China. We have other emerging poles like India and so on. So how to keep such a multipolar, multi-conceptual world together, I think will be at the forefront. Some people would say multilateralism has to be again cultivated in Davos. But I see also, I would call it that we have urgency in emergency related to the environmental issues, climate change, but also biodiversity and so on. We face an emergency situation. And we have not yet really the sense of urgency to address those issues. We see it now with the fires in Australia. And of course, it's relatively difficult to get such a sense of urgency if the stock markets are doing so well as we see now.
Thank you for watching, and for more from CNBC International, just hit the subscribe button.